Hey everybody, this is Josh Co.
This is Mepan.
We're back. 1 year ago, we did a shoe video that did very well. Actually, people really enjoyed it, and we got a lot of views.
And I'll be putting up the link right now.
Okay, so we're going to look back on how we still think of the shoes, the Just So-Sos from Umyogo, and do a quick comparison to a shoe that I bought earlier in this year, at the beginning of the year, and tell you if it matches up. Because this thing happens to be the #1 Amazon seller for walking shoes. And when we originally bought the Just So-Sos, we were looking for a new interesting shoe in the vein of walking shoes.
Right.
So both have seen a lot of walking, and so you can see what we think of these two next here on the Cock and
Block.
Right, we're back. So we're going to be comparing the Umyogo Just So-So. This is Matt's beaten up one that he's had for a year, and it's seen everything.
It's seen a lot. Yep.
Yeah, and we're going to compare it to the #1 best-selling shoe, according to Amazon, for running shoes, which is the New Balance, or New Balance, if you're fancy. Or what does Janet Jackson say? If you're nasty.
If you're nasty, the Nuevo Balance.
The 608.
608.
This one is the V2. I got the V2 because the toe box was described as being a little bit wider and a little bit more comfortable. I don't know if that's true or not, but they are very comfortable. So let's talk about the original purchase, which was the Just So-Sos, and this was one of the videos that you all liked, you wanted to know about, and this is a special treat for you who've seen the first video, in that, in the first video, this shoe was gray.
That's right.
You had a green screen on, so you couldn't see that these shoes were actually green.
The color was weird because we had a green screen. When I got these, I got my Just So-Sos first. They all made fun of me and called them my John Deere shoes.
Yeah.
So I've had these for a year. I've worn them a lot. I've since replaced them with some Reeboks.
Actually, it's not too bad on the tread.
Not too bad. One side, I mean, they're really not too bad. He got rid of his pair already.
Yeah.
You remember he had a black and red pair.
Right. My heel broke right here. It actually kind of got sliced open, and
one of mine is
you see
starting
these little
to do that. The webbing,
webbed. So when you get a whole piece that's broken and that goes right into the webbing, your shoe becomes unwearable. It's not comfortable anymore. So one thing that we liked about it, at first this horseshoe felt really weird, and it went through maybe like a beginning period, maybe, and then it felt really good. I mean,
it felt amazing.
It has a sweet spot. The Just So-Sos definitely have a sweet spot. I think from maybe 2 weeks in to about 6 months.
About 6 months. That's what I was going to say. It feels like your heel is cupped, and all the weight is distributed somewhere like outside of your heel, and it's really like your heel floats. And then one day you sit down after a long day walking, you're like, man, my heel's starting to ache a little bit. Yeah. And those little webs, those leaf springs in there sort of just break down. Yeah. I think in my other shoe, the other side, my right side, which is my bad foot, I think I'm starting to split on one of them a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, you are. And I don't know if you could see this on the camera,
but
you can kind of see it right here. Yeah. You could see where it's starting to collapse. Mine collapsed all the way because I'm a much bigger guy, and so mine went south quick. And I didn't keep mine.
Mine are working in the dirt shoes right now. Yeah. Before I had those, I had a pair of Adidas, the hiking Adidas, whatever. They're like sneakers. I still have them. They're still fine, except the tread's pretty worn. And I opted for a pair of classic Reeboks instead of another set of Just So-Sos. Yeah. Because if you look at Amazon right now, those shoes are starting to look crazy. Yeah. Like space shoes.
People are interested in them because of the crazy look and the interesting way that the webbing looks, and they've just made it more extreme and more extreme. And I think the thicker, more twisty looking ones that are more rounded are the latest ones. And a lot of comments that we got and debate was which are the real Just So-Sos. Are the horseshoe shaped ones the real ones, or the ones with sort of a flat,
it's like a
weird foam texture?
Sole,
and I had people argue argue with me about
Yeah.
that on which is which, and you can't find a lot of great information about this company online.
Right.
However, easy to find information about the New Balance.
Right.
The 608 is like the standard walking shoe. This is the shoe your grandpa probably has.
How much more did you pay for that versus the 45 or whatever?
Probably twice as much.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
shoe is what?
45?
45?
$50 after.
Oh, okay.
I think it
Okay.
was four.
Well,
I think I got mine on sale for $39 and you got yours for $45, if
Yep.
I remember correctly.
yep. Oh, okay. 45. I thought I maybe did.
$43.99
Yeah.
maybe.
Well,
something.
these were about 69-ish, 68,
Oh,
69-ish
okay.
dollars, and I did get them on sale.
Okay.
I've seen them go as high as 90.
Okay.
But especially the V2s. I think the V5s are a little less expensive.
What's the difference between the V's?
Toe
the
box,
versions?
from everything I hear, is the toe box is
Like literally the
slightly
angle?
different. Yeah, differently angled, and you can tell some of the working on the top is a little bit different. It's simplified on the V2 for sure. So I have walked in these in an amusement park. I've done a hike with these bad boys. I've walked inside, outside, at work, standing at work all day, and I'll tell you, they feel just as good as the day I bought them.
How long have you had them now?
I've had them for 6 months.
Oh.
They feel exactly the same as they did
Wow.
when they first started. The big difference between this shoe and this shoe is this shoe has this weird heel feeling that like cushions your heel. This one doesn't.
It's
This
just a shoe.
honestly it's just a shoe. It doesn't have much of a heel cushion. So if I had to like rank which one had the initial better heel cushion, it was the Gisoso, but it only
In
lasts
its prime.
in its prime,
Which doesn't
in
last
in
as
its
long.
sweet spot. Yeah. This shoe, I've had it for 6 months, worn it for 6 months. The heel is the same as the day I bought it. I think this is a shoe that's going to last years because of the way the leather is constructed.
Looks good. I thought they were.
I have
much
worn
newer.
this and gotten it dirty and washed it, and it looks like it's not brand new, but it looks good. I mean,
It
it's
looks good. Yeah.
just so-sos
Huh.
break down, and they don't quite look as good. I could never get my black ones completely cleaned from all the dirt and dust from
Yeah,
all
they
of our
hold
hikes.
dirt. I can never really get
We
those
used to hike a lot out in the
Yeah.
dirt.
Yours look-
overpass dirt.
Overpass. Yeah. The the black ones looked a lot dirtier. Than
Yeah,
mine.
the black ones looked really dirty. My son actually has a pair. I didn't bring them out because they were
'Cause they're
so
nasty.
muddy. So muddy.
That's funny.
So if I was going to make a recommendation, and you really want a long-term shoe that feels normal and feels like a normal shoe, it's not going to blow you away, but is going to last forever and is going to be a good shoe to stand in for hours and hours and walk in for hours and hours, get a New Balance. And the 608s especially. The 608s are the standard, I think, for walking shoes. And if you really need that extra heel cushion that you get initially from a shoe like this or from the other
Insole.
ones, get an insole.
Yeah, get an insole.
If you want something that feels cushy right off the bat, I will caution you that cushy shoes, like ones that feel like you're walking on a cloud, they break down. They just do. They don't
Yeah,
last long.
yeah.
My Skechers were that way. Skechers is another really highly ranked walking shoe, and I had a pair of, again, very popular Skechers on Amazon, one of the top 10. And those shoes, they lasted like 3 months before they no longer felt like
I
prime
just got a
Skechers.
pair of the classic old school Reeboks, and I worry about that with those because they're awesome, but they have a real squishy heel, so they feel great right now. I feel like I'm walking on a cloud, but yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Like,
Yeah, be careful with those. Although it does feel great when you have it. I mean, honestly, when I first got my Skechers, I
I'm
thought,
wearing them right now. As a matter of fact, I was like, I'll show you my shoes. I
yeah,
literally got them on my
let's see your
feet right now.
Reeboks.
They're kind of dirty, but so I opted for classic because I have bad feet. I have actually this foot is I have an old injury, so it really is a problem. So I went with these, and they feel amazing. But just what you're talking about, I've got this nice soft sole, and I do worry that they won't last as long.
Yeah.
6 months, that's amazing. I didn't realize you had them.
Yeah, I
that
had them
long.
6 months. Went through Universal Studios. And
That's right, you got 'em
everywhere.
when you went to-
yeah,
yeah, that's right.
And I went on many of the little hikes that we do around here in these. and even played disc golf in these.
I mean, that's right. There you go. Glowing recommendation.
Yeah, so I would say yes to these. I would recommend these if you really have to have a cushy heel. Just get a little heel insole. That's all you'll need for these, and they'll last you a long time. Probably 2-3 years, I'd say. With the Just So, do we still recommend these? Yeah. I mean, if you know what you're getting into, they're kind of cool shoes. If you've not experienced the way that they feel, they're interesting. I almost feel like when I was walking, I was just like propelled a little, like it was springy. You know.
I would say this, if especially if you like some people just like to buy shoes because they're like into sneakers.
Yeah.
And if you're like into sneakers and you maybe wouldn't wear them all the time, get a pair because they'll probably last you like a year or two. And when if you just if you don't wear them out, you'll love them every time you pop them on. You're like, dang, these are amazing. They feel great. I think they look cool. They come in a lot of neat colors. But we put them on, all three of us. We like put them on, and then every single day we're like, let's take a walk, let's take a hike with them.
Yeah.
And we just wore the crap out of them, and they broke down pretty quickly. So
they did, but they were interesting to look at, interesting to feel.
I definitely don't regret buying them.
This strap definitely isn't as cool as when I first bought it. Still recommend it though.
I actually like the strap.
You like the strap?
Just because it's practical. I hold my shoe on with
it.
I mean, it looks funky. I don't love the way it looks, but
I always had to use the little one. I always thought the little one.
You didn't use the big one?
No, I could never get it on with the big one.
Oh,
but I definitely recommend spending the extra $30 or $20 to get the New Balance. They're ugly as sin. I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Not ugly. They look like something Jerry Seinfeld would wear with a pair of blue jeans.
They're very practical shoes.
They're very practical.
And there's nothing wrong with practical shoes.
No.
If you don't want to be called a nerd, you may not want to wear these shoes. But
if you don't give a crap, which I'm kind of regretting not buying a pair of those.
If you have to stand all day at work on a concrete floor with very little carpeting,
a pair of shoes is important.
Get these.
There's a reason we always talk about shoes, and we're always fixated on shoes because neither of us are like super svelte. Neither of us have great feet. You know what I mean? Like we both have pain with our feet. Like it's important. It's important for everybody to wear a good pair of shoes that feel good. So
my ranking is I would say New Balance is my top recommendation.
6 months in and they look like that, and they're still what would you say out of 100%? 95%?
I mean,
98, 99%?
I mean, they feel like almost identical after 6 months. It's crazy. Yeah, I've never had a shoe that did that before.
That's pretty awesome.
And I'm big. I'm about 300 pounds. So
that's a good value.
When you're as big as I am, having a shoe last and be that good for that long, it's great.
I weigh 200 pounds. Just a little over. So I mean, I'm not super light. I do go through my shoes pretty quickly as well. And both of us walk hard. Like we just stomp around and
I would say comfort-wise, the most comfortable shoe I've ever had was my Skechers walking shoe.
Really?
Followed probably by Adidas and Reebok are kind of tied for me. We both actually I have 3 pair of Adidas still.
No, we both have Adidas. We like Adidas.
They're good and they last too.
Shoes,
yeah, they last as well.
Very durable.
But not as comfortable, maybe as Skechers, but last a little bit longer than Skechers.
My Adidas are not as they never were. They're kind of like you're saying with those. My Adidas, they're the Terex or whatever they are, the off-road Adidas. They weren't ever as comfortable as these Reeboks or the Just So-Sos. They're like more practical. They're like you put on a big soft sock and then lace them up properly and go hike. You know what I mean? But they're still really, really well. I mean, there's no peeling. There's no fraying. The only thing on my Adidas is the tread. The spiky tread is worn down quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that's our shoe review.
Yeah.
Just so-so, still just so-so.
Just so-so.
And the solid, steady New Balance 608.
608.
608s, people. You can't beat it. Except for looks. Yeah. Just about everything.
I don't think it looks bad. It's just not super flashy, but it looks all right.
If you want flashy, Just So-So might meet it, or Yeezy, or what is the Numa? Numo, whatever. There's a new version of like this that's got a name.
Oh yeah, there's one like called Mr. Lin or something.
Mr. Lin, that's right. I'm like, is that Jeremy Lin's shoe?
That's funny.
The basketball player?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Anyways, that's it from us. Let us know what you think. What's your favorite walking shoe of the ones that's rated in the top 10? I've never been in a pair of Asics because Asics fit me a little bit too narrow.
I've never even tried them on. I don't
I
know.
have. They usually have kind of a mesh top, which I actually tried on I think the first time on maybe these, like a total mesh top. Most of my Adidas had some leather on it.
Yeah. These are kind of
Yours is mesh.
actually,
Yeah, your Reeboks are mesh. But most of the Asics are very mesh on top, and which is very cool when running. But at the same time, I just felt that the squeeze was a little too tight on me.
Oh, gotcha. I like wide shoes that are wider in the pad area.
Right. Okay.
But anyway, if you've made it all the way through this, guys, and we appreciate that, please make sure to like and subscribe. Even if you're here because you might, we do a lot of other types of videos. Typically, this isn't our typical type video, but if you haven't seen us before, we really thrive on interacting with you guys. So please comment, tell us what you think of shoes, tell us what you want us to review next, etc., etc.
Right.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell, hit all of that, and we really do appreciate you very much.
All right. We'll talk to you next time here on the Cockabot.
Do 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 do.